Greetings again, it's HB Dlamini, Public Law N6. I'm back with Module 5. As per promise, we'll be using your book, Prescribed Book N6, Public Law, by A. Kruger. And Module 5 is one of those simple modules. In this module, it's more about who is who and who is doing what, all right, in the legal fraternity. So we're starting off with the National Prosecuting Authority since 1994, right? So the National Director of Public Prosecutions were established in 1998, and the Act is the National Prosecuting Authority. So at present, the National Director of Public Prosecutions is Shamila Batoy. So the legal functionaries and practitioners in our courts will be discussed in this module. Well, as for the National Prosecuting Authority, we've got the office, the main office in Pretoria, and it's headed by Shamila Batoy. She has got 4 deputies, the National Director of Public Prosecutions, directors and special directors heading sexual offences and community affairs, special commercial crimes, asset forfeiture unit, priority crimes, litigation, Office of Witness Protection. With witness protection, there are these priority crimes where you find that the offense is so highly recognized to such an extent that if you're a witness in that particular case, you may be killed or murdered by the suspects. So the witness protection, if there's evidence that you are the witness in such a case, you are taken and kept by the state somewhere else whilst the investigation is proceeding until the date on which you'll be called in court. Whilst you are there, you are under the protection of the state. Okay? With the asset forfeiture unit, all those who are involved in crimes where they benefited using the dirty money, so to speak, when there's evidence that they are criminals, their assets may be forfeited to the state and be sold so that they'll reimburse those who lost those. Special commercial crimes are crimes involving embezzlement and all other cases involving money and fraud. Sexual offences and community affairs, that one is clear. Director, special directors, they are all involved in this. So the NPA Act 32 of 1998 and the Constitution provides the prosecuting authority with the power to institute criminal proceedings on behalf of the state, right? That is, the National Director is appointed by the President of South Africa. So the core functions of the National Director are to decide whether a case is going to be prosecuted or not. In a court language, you'll find that the investigating officers will be saying, okay, the case is not ready for trial, so it will be taken back for investigation. Sometimes the prosecutor would say there's no enough evidence, so it's a nolle prosequi in Latin. Nolle prosequi, that's the language they use in court. So it means that case won't be prosecuted. They also ensure that perpetrators of crime are charged and held responsible for their criminal actions. And they also have to be seen as the people's lawyers, right? And other responsibilities contribute to freedom from crime, social development, or reduce crime, ensuring that public confidence is still there in the criminal justice system. National Prosecuting Authority is attached to the high courts. In all high courts, 9 regions, there are deputy directors of public prosecutors. They usually call them DPPs, right? They are responsible for all criminal cases in their respective provinces. So they delegate cases to advocates in the High Court and to public prosecutors in the lower courts. So in other words, if, for example, it's a case of murder which was committed in Newcastle, the investigation will be done, and once completed, the case will be given to the prosecutor. The prosecutor will then send the case to the DPP in Pietermaritzburg. Then the DPP will decide as to on what counts is he going to proceed with the case, right? There's also the state advocate, the state attorney. The state attorney office is to protect the interests of the state, and these are state attorneys and the state attorney division of the Department of Justice. So those who are in the Department of Justice, they know that the state attorneys have got their own office as if they are a private law firm, yet they are not. Their function is just to protect the state. If there are any cases against the state officials, they are appointed. Master of the High Court. The Master of the High Court is appointed for every division of the High Court around the 9 provinces. You can see on page 42, it's written in a point form. It's clear, it doesn't need any explanation, right? The Registrar of the High Court, appointed for all High Courts, administration of the High Court. It's their function. Their functions are also to do the administrative duties, also the semi-judicial or quasi-judicial duties, like the issuing of summons, warrants, subpoenas, and acting as taxing masters in civil cases. Immediately when the civil case is finalized, then they'll do the taxing. It's called taxation. There'll be taxing master. In that, they'll be checking as to how much did the attorneys charge their clients. Did they charge them according to the prescripts of the High Court? Okay. Then the office of the Registrar, Registrar of Deeds, it's known as the Deeds Office. It's in 10, we've got 10 in South Africa, and the independent directorate within Department of Land Affairs. And they are also responsible for the registration, also responsible for the management and maintenance of property registry. And their functions are clear on page 43. They are also written in a point form. Okay. Then we move over to the Registrar of Companies. Registrar of Companies appointed by the Minister of Justice. By the way, who is our Minister of Justice? Some of the students don't even know the Minister of Justice. His name is Ronald Lamola. Okay. So he's responsible, the Registrar of Companies is responsible for registration of private and public companies, and they administer registered companies. as well as the management of those companies who are already registered. Okay, so the sheriff of the court is also the bailiff, right? He serve or execute court documents, for example, the summons, warrants, etc., in the High Court. Right? Let's move over to the functions now of the public prosecutor. The public prosecutor, please revise the duties of it's the public protector, public protector. Please do revise these on your own. It's on page 44. I know you have been doing the public protector since N4, N5, now you're doing N6. Just do that revision on your own, right? Okay, then we've got the judges. Judges, they preside in high courts in South Africa. Magistrate presides in lower courts, and commissioners preside in different lower courts. They've got the same status as the magistrates. Commissioner of small courts or small claims court, they preside in small claims court, and they listen to both sides of the story and ask questions and evaluate evidence and deliver verdict. By saying they listen to both sides, in module 8 you are going to get a principle called aude alteram partem, which means listen to the other side. Okay. So family advocates, it's another office, this one, occupied by the advocate, family advocate. They assist parties to reach agreement on disputed issues such as custody or access and guardianship of the children, especially in divorce cases where there's a dispute of custody of the children. Okay, another official is the translator or the interpreter. The interpreter is the language expert of the court. It depends sometimes if the parties in court don't need the interpreter, they can just do the talking on their own. And there's a messenger of court. Messenger of the court performs same duties as the sheriff in the High Court. So the court orderlies also assist in the court. A court orderly is a police officer maintaining order and ensure security inside the courtroom. Clerks of the court, they do the same work as clerks in the High Court. They issue summons, follow up on collecting fines, they receive fines, they display exhibits in court as evidence. They are also involved in the safekeeping of exhibits, and they also manage general administration with regard to the court proceedings. And the last official is the assessor. The assessor assists the legal functionaries in court. Thank you so much. You'll be getting module 6 in due course. Stay safe.